We're going advanced today. Another butt kick, spiritual butt kick. A good thing. You know why? You're ready for it. What's a spiritual butt kick? Just awakening to some things that are going on right now that are amazing. I'm going to share with you something, and it may be an epiphany for you. Every time I do a video, I hope to open the door for you to just think about some things to make your own decisions. Are you ready for this? Because what I'm about to address with you is a major shift. But what I want to share with you, it's probably not what you think about that out there. It's something else that's going to completely change that out there. It's happening right now. Let's go. Welcome to Landria Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through fears and live an amazing life. It's possible. A huge shift happening right now. It's not what you think. Now, we've talked about the matrix. The matrix is simply, imagine a net over the planet. It is a program. Within it, we just play out through these vehicles in a 3D world all these scenarios. Challenges are gifts, but we struggle with them. We don't like things that are uncomfortable because that's not really our origin. Our origin is pure light and love, and we don't have to focus and try and figure out how to manifest. We just do it. We see 360, forward, backward, past and present and future. You're learning how to do that here because you still have those capabilities. That power still exists in you. It cannot not exist. It is just what you are. Here's the shift that's going on right now. There is a major consciousness shift, but I want to tell you exactly what that means. We're pulling the curtain back. We Wizard of Oz and find out there's just a little old man back there controlling everything, and everything seems so scary and dynamic, and all these rules are put into place, and they go on this amazing venture, but they learned so much along the way, didn't they? Amazing things that opened up their mind, that took them to different places. And that's what's happening right now. But we're pulling back the curtain right now. But you know who's behind the curtain? It's not an institution or some bad people. It's you. You're behind the curtain. You are controlling that whole adventure that you are experiencing. You are controlling the reactions, the choices, the frequency in your holographic adventure. You're realizing that it isn't someone else, it's you. Now, I have a couple things to say to you. I want you to think about this because there are some extremely well-meaning, extremely intelligent people out there who are not spreading conspiracy theories, but are fighting it. I still don't understand that because I'm going to tell you why, and why the whole consciousness, that next advanced level we're going to, doesn't even go into that space. When you try to change the powers that be, or the people in your life, or the institutions, or anything, you battle it, it becomes more conflict. You're saying you must change because I don't agree with your path that you chose. I don't agree with what you're doing behind the curtain. And you're behind your curtain dictating that that should be for everyone, and it isn't. It doesn't work that way. Otherwise, we'd be all robots, all should be doing the same thing according to your rules. How boring would that be? Yeah? But we don't celebrate our differences. These intelligent people out there, they're going against institutions that have never been honest. Since our founding fathers were here, things were structured in a way to really keep them safe and in power and wealthy. And yeah, there's some good things that go along with that, but a lot of egos in control. And so why would we try to get those forces, those institutions, anything out there, to change? They are what they are. We are placing them in that power too, right? I don't see any of you say, hey, listen, I'm going to go for it. Why? It's a big job. We have other ways to make a difference because as a collective whole, we actually have more power than that 1%. So I ask you this, if we work from this end to create our own communities and preferences, and therefore that will start to respond because it has its own limitations. Low density does. If you continue on the pathway and the focus of the solutions and creating new pathways, new communities, that will crumble. It has to. We have no use for it anymore. When we continually say, we're going to get them to admit things in all these meetings and all media and all this stuff, for what? Some of these people actually lose their lives. For what? They're going against people that are corrupt and low frequencies who don't want that goodness and high frequency to come into power. All right. We're not here to battle that. We're here to create because you are behind that curtain of your own reality. So, no one's behind it. And so I think so many of us out there, humans, believe that there's somebody else doing bad things and, making, decisions. And it's not true. It's you. And there's a whole percentage of people, a pretty big one right now, that's understanding that. It was never somebody else, because there is no somebody else. It's me. And everything that I did back there was programmed for me, for my benefit, not for punishment. This isn't a prison. The prison is when you believe that there's something bad and that you have no control over it. You get locked into that. You're saying to the universe, the power of which you are, that you have no power, and therefore that's what you create. This, I hope, will be an epiphany for you when you realize there's nothing else. It's just you. Because you flow through me and the chair and the rock and the clouds and the trees. It's just one thing on all different adventures within it, and they all interact with each other. And depending on what you do there, will tell that program within the matrix where to go and who it will run into. Because if I'm over here on this pathway and you're on here on this pathway, then we will meet, we'll converge, and we create something beautiful and amazing if we're doing it on a high frequency. It's really simple. We can absolutely change the planet simply. And so a couple of you said, imagine if all of us focused on this one thing. Guess what? It works. Now, if you saw my video and I talked about, are you going to be the 1%? I showed you that in 1983, for several years, actually, I thought it was like 30-some percent. It was actually 70-some percent reduction in deaths, murders, terrorism, all these other things that are very unpleasant, health issues, reduced by 70-some percent. It was that noticeable. And when they stopped meditating on this peace and love and all these amazing, high frequency messages, it went back. It went back to that low density matrix program. You get to make an impact on this planet. And so when you realize that you're the person behind the curtain, there's this epiphany that happens that there's nothing to battle. There's no prison. Nobody's keeping me here. Nobody's doing anything to me. I have to choose to interact with that. And when I have these challenges, it's because I requested revelations, answers, teachings for myself to master, and this will come in. And if you don't master it and you struggle with it, you will continue to run that program in and in and in till you master it, because before you came here, you planned to accomplish certain goals. So when those things show up in your life, that's exactly what you decided that you wanted to master. Master it. Compassion. I'll give you an example. You guys are probably up against this yourself. A big split happening right now is actually really good people, maybe even close friends of yours, that you feel like you're splitting away from, and there's nothing you can do about it. So when they confront you with their uncomfortableness, they're going through their own things, and so they will see the worst in you, possibly, in the situation in their own life. They won't see the beauty in things. They're going to see what's going wrong. Sometimes you have to walk from that. You're not going to change it. Again, we're not here to change that. But when we show compassion and we put ourselves aside and we say, they're going through something. What they're saying isn't true. These things aren't bad. You aren't doing certain things. You aren't this crazy spiritual person, or whatever it is your family and friends are saying to you, because I hear all your comments. When that happens, you don't have to defend yourself. This is your test to say, now that's hitting on my ego. And I value that relationship. What am I going to do with that? Okay, I will not go into conflict. Now that's tough because they want conflict from you. And that whole world's going to want conflict from you. And when you stop engaging in conflict, what is there? We have to go into that space. You're completely in control, my friend. And so many people are understanding that. And it becomes so clear and so beautiful and peaceful, because then you realize, it's just me. And I'm not alone, because I am everything else. And when I go in this space of love and kindness and compassion, solutions, I complete my mission here. And that is to raise the frequency of the planet, one light being at a time. And it's you. That's it. It's that simple. And everything else that goes on around you is another program, individual program, that you must allow to play out. But when you intersect with them, you can make a decision to be of assistance, of the highest frequency, or to create conflict. So all these smart people out there that you say, well, they're not conspiracy theorists, they're not doing that. No, they're not. But they're battling with people that I don't know why we care what they think. Why do we care what those institutions do or don't show us, or what they, why do we care? Why get entangled in that? It's a very dark world. So when you place your focus over here, you are creating something else. You're going up that beautiful pathway to a view that's amazing. My father has many mansions. You switch your program. It's another mansion, a mansion. And so everything in that mansion exists from the lowest to the high frequency. So you don't get away from that. You will interact with it, because that's part of the matrix that will exist here until everybody goes to awakened state. And that will happen at some point. Not necessarily here. Some people will never leave this planet in an awakened state. They may go off to other adventures. But we all eventually go back. And then we'll probably do it all over again, because, euphoria gets a little boring, because you don't know what euphoria is until you've experienced the opposite. Have you gone into that space of the all-knowing, that huge shift that's happening right now, where we actually know that it's just us, and that there's nobody else to blame, no punishment, nothing to escape. It's all purposeful. God doesn't make mistakes. Everything has an amazing, beautiful, angelic purpose. It all is meant to be. It is all meant to be. Everything's exactly the way it should be, because you've created it and participated in it and fueled it. So if you don't like what you see, change your mind, right? I hope you'll come over and visit my website, landriaonkka.com. Come over to Manifest Anything. It's free. I've got new steps that are coming in here shortly. If you want to take Breakthrough Fear, come to Manifest Anything. You'll get a huge discount. That's ending October 1st, the first week of October. So come on over and grab it if you want to take that. If you want to move past those barriers, that would be a good course to take. There's a 2-hour masterclass that you may want to take, called Move Past Fear. Fear is the barrier that holds us back. Fear says, I don't have control. If you knew that you were doing all of this, that absolutely everything is just a play, a hologram, and that what you are is indestructible, would you ever go into fear? No, because no matter what happened, you know this too shall pass, and that you learn from it, you gain something from it, and then you go to this next high level, and all those things that are challenging dissolve. You'll see them differently. So whatever's happening out there, whether it's our health or our finances or anything, I promise you, this is the message that this doesn't work. We've done that. We did that. We have to take responsibility, and we can change it. And it is changing right now. So hang in there. This is a flash in the pan of eternity. Please subscribe to my channel. If you want to create an online business, we've got thousands of people learning all kinds of things. There's plenty of room. We haven't even tapped into what we can do online as individuals. You know, I was an investment banker for 20 years. I worked with millionaires and billionaires, and I saw all these individual people out there who could never have a chance of starting their own business without the millions of dollars and the PhD or the master education. And I realized that I need to go into a space and empower you and show you that you can do anything. And so this is what I ended up doing, creating online businesses, and anybody can do this. But you've got to put in the work. I see so many people, they want things just handed to them. And that's a really boring space to go into. You don't expand your knowledge or skills when you do that. So if you want free videos to see what it's about, it may not be for you, that's okay, unsubscribe. But keep your mind open to new things. Go into a space that makes you a little uncomfortable, because we're uncomfortable no matter what. At least you'll be going in the right direction of uncomfortableness. So go down to Manifest Anything, free video series. Of course, I've got all kinds of things for you, free, and also some courses. I've got all kinds of tools for you to manifest anything, because you're behind the curtain, my friend. You're whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Blessings to you, my friend. Namaste.